there was equality. This is just my observation from reading, that there was equality maybe in the Garden of Eden. And let me explain. Let me read. All right, I am beginning to think that there was equality. This is just my observation from reading, that there was equality maybe in the Garden of Eden. And let me explain. Let me read. Genesis 3:16. To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your pain and your conception. In pain you shall bring forth children, and you shall be dependent on your husband, and he shall rule over you. So at that point, if rulership was part of the punishment, then to me there would have been a level of equality, and which brings me to think that we just never did calibrate past the fall of man. And that's why there's so much animosity and which gender is better and all of the things. I don't think that there's one. I think that there's a way of things as far as the hierarchy system. I think there was always like a hierarchy in the sense that we were, of course, God was over man. But I think when it came to people, I think there was a level of equality and no strife and things, because enmity comes later, or comes right before in verse 15, which is a deep-rooted hatred. So I think all of those type of things came later. With that being said, I don't think we ever was able to recalibrate. I think I was listening to a podcast where a young lady said the same thing. We couldn't recalibrate back. And so all of these things seeped in. We find ourselves in these gender wars. And I think if we look at it, and sometimes I pray to the Lord, like as close as you can get me back to the intended, because I know that we're living under these set of new rules and guidelines since the fall of man. But as close as you can get me back to your original intention, please, like that's my prayer, like please get me there when it comes to getting along with people or removing myself. So my way of recently doing things is kind of like removing myself, a low contact kind of thing, until I can calibrate to know how to emotionally regulate or how to form my communication and speak to where I'm not popping off. Because in my flesh, my default setting is, I got to get you off of me. I feel you're a threat. I feel a trigger. I got to get you off of me. And I don't like that being my initial approach. So I take the time to try to recalibrate, to think things through, or either just begin to distance myself so I don't continuously find myself in a predicament where I'm having to think about this.